unmuted. Okay, perfect. All right, let's begin. Welcome, everyone. We're doing a master class today. So I'm going to be going over how I've been selling digital products, specifically on X organically lately. So, I've generated over $15 million at 22. So I'm going to be showing you how. So how do I go to the next? There we go. Okay, so today, I'm going to be going over a few things. So first, I'm going to be going over my biography or story, showing you like who I'm about because a lot of you guys have been asking for that. And then some exercises to help you attain your dream future. And then basically a lot of the technical stuff that I promised. So how to get views on X, how to create digital products with AI. And there are many different ways that you can go about this. So I'll be explaining to you everything step by step. So there are a lot of steps. Each step is small, and there are a lot of pictures that I've attached so that you can see exactly how it works in detail. And then at the very end, there is a special opportunity for you to join me and my team and also giveaways. So the more time we spend on this masterclass, basically, the more value you're going to get. And it's going to be more important towards the end. So in the beginning, it will just be a few exercises in my story. And then later on, we'll be going over the technical details, basically what you guys came here for. All right. So a lot of the stuff I basically share it in my private group for my mentorship students. But I'll be sharing with you guys what I teach them to you guys here. So who is this masterclass for? So it's basically for anyone or everyone, for beginners, for those who are already, making lots of money, helping you to scale to 6 figures per month or 7 figures per month, or even if you're unsure or just want to learn. So for those who don't know me, why you should listen to me when there are millions of other people who are trying to give business advice, right? So I'm going to share some of my stats. So I have more than 50 X accounts, and we're getting millions of views regularly every week. So these X accounts are in a variety of different topics, like e-com, AI sales, YouTube sweeps, stuff like that. So as long as if it's in business and we're educating people, teaching people, helping them grow, that's what we have. And then most of these accounts are faceless. So as you know, my account, I show my face. There's one or two others that show their face, but all the rest of the accounts are completely faceless. So if you're doing this business, you don't need to show your face. So, in the analytics section, we're getting millions of views regularly. All right. Okay. So basically breaking down the funnel in easy words. So first, we're creating posts, right? We're creating hundreds or thousands of posts across many different accounts, right? And then this is basically the steps that the audience, the viewers go through so that they become clients and buy. So basically, they will go through the posts and they'll be curious to learn more, right? They'll go through more posts, they'll go through the freebies that we send or other materials that we have, or maybe Telegram or Discord communities. They'll go through them and then they'll be interested to learn more. The point for us is to give as much value as possible so that they can learn and we can earn their trust. And then you want to do, you want to have some sort of way to capture them. So, maybe like 1 to 3% or 5% of these people will end up wanting more and buy something. So, that could be an ebook or that could be a course or coaching. So for if it's like a smaller amount of payment, like $30 or $500, then it makes sense to do a checkout link. But if it's a lot more expensive, like thousands of dollars or 20K, then it makes sense to do a text or a call, have a closer, and since they're paying a lot. And then, of course, getting sales. And then each account is making anywhere from 4 to 6 figures in sales per month. So that's essentially how it works on the big scale. All right. Um, so yeah, these are some of my analytics or sales dashboards. So in the past 4 weeks, you can see that we've done more than 500K, and then in the past 6 months, we've done 2.4. For those who are saying that it's fake or it's edited, you can go to my Twitter or YouTube or Instagram, or I have videos in a lot of places refreshing and doing all that sort of stuff. So I just didn't include it here because I didn't know how to include videos, but um, these are my sales. All right. And that I had to include it in here. Basically the cars. So this is a Lamborghini Huracan Evo. I'm fortunate enough to be able to drive these. This Ferrari actually I haven't bought it yet. So this is rented. So maybe like I would rent for like a few weeks at a time or like a month at a time. So like all the other cars besides this black one is rented. So the Ferrari, the Urus, the red one, the black one, those are all rented besides this one on the left. I just had to put it in there, just to flex. Besides the monetary stuff, I'm basically preparing to have a new family soon. Maybe be a dad, who knows? Also a son of God. So, this is basically how I identify myself. It's like, before all these, things that I've accomplished, I put myself as, a family member and also the son of God. So, I'm trying to follow God. I'm doing my best to basically follow. I'm a very sinful, a terrible person, but it's basically my responsibility to keep improving and also to help other people to come to God as well. So that's who I am. And then now, because a lot of you guys have been asking me, here's a quick story about myself. It'll take like probably 5 minutes. So I was born in Utah. Um, Japanese roots. Grew up in the East Coast, basically. Did a lot of swimming and piano. That's me with Phelps. Um, the reason why I'm giving you my story is just because I hope that maybe I just want to show you that I'm not like anyone who's like extraordinarily special, and show you like how I did it to give you more context and maybe you can relate with me. So, college was basically the time where things started to change. I had quit these things that I had been doing before. Came here to LA where I'm right now. I'm trying to figure out my life. I have no money, and basically I almost died in an accident. I was skateboarding and I almost died. Um, so this was, the point of my life where I'm trying to figure out what my life is, what to do. And yeah, so basically I was starting to get worried, right? After college, I'd work a job probably. My boss would tell me what to do, control my entire life. I could get fired at any time. Would I be able to support my family? Am I going to slave under him for the rest of my life? And also, um, because I have all these fears, I tried so many different businesses, right? I'm watching how to make money online, YouTube videos. And I just try so many different businesses and I fail all of them. All right. So during college, I take one semester off. So that means like one of the 6 months that I had, I basically stopped going to school, and I went all in on business basically. So 12 hours per day to figure it out. The goal by the end of the 6 months was to get to 10K per month, and I had no idea how I was going to do that. And it felt like I was climbing a mountain. Basically, like I was at the very bottom, and the top, I imagined that I would attain it. But then I realized that, oh wow, 10K feels incredibly far, infinitely far, even if I'm like, climbing so much. So at that time, I thought it was completely impossible. I had zero success. These images I basically took from my own Instagram account. So, I hope these images help kind of describe everything. Um, so, I'm doing all these sort of stuff. I have zero success. And then as a last attempt, I try selling software on LinkedIn, basically. All right. And then, finally, this one post after spending like, months and months on business, like it finally gets views. Um, this was the first $10 sale I've ever gotten, the first ever sale I've gotten. thanks to Emma. Basically, she Venmoed me 10 bucks for the software. October 2020 something, probably like 3 years ago, October 24. So this was the first ever sale I've gotten. Basically, I was in the college dining hall. Even though I wasn't enrolled in classes, I was in the dining hall. And I was so happy. I called my parents and my friends, and I was smiling for probably 2 or 3 hours. So, I started doing LinkedIn, basically created like so many different profiles. So these are fake profiles that I made. And I'm making these kinds of posts. I'm making like 100K to 3 million views per post. So, we're absolutely going viral. We're promoting a software, and then I'm doing six-figure months. So it was a huge leap from there. And then all these accounts get banned. That's the one thing about LinkedIn is that it's so easy to get banned. Um, so all this stuff basically came to zero. All right, so that's basically why I started doing X, is because LinkedIn sucks. It's so easy to get banned. So I was looking for platform where I could survive long term. And the nice thing about X is just that you don't get banned. Like you can do anything, and it's like very secure, very stable. You can survive there forever. Okay, so for the first 2 or 3 months, I was probably making 10 posts, more than 10 posts per day, every single day. It's getting zero views, right? And then after maybe like 2 or 3 months, I get my first viral post. So at that point, I've already made hundreds and hundreds of posts, all getting zero views. And then finally, I get my first viral post. And of course, like up until that point, I'm making zero. But then the first post gets, I'm basically selling an ebook, and I make 5 figures from that. All right. So I just want to go over some disclaimers. One, I wanted to, basically make it clear that I didn't get any financial help from anyone. Like I could ask my parents for money, but I just didn't want to. Like that was the last thing I would ever do. I felt like I would rather die trying to figure out business than asking for help. Two is that I didn't know any businesses before, all this stuff. I was just searching up how to make money online, like searching that on like YouTube, basically. Three is, I'm not that smart. I failed lots of exams and finals in college, in school. And four, I wanted to, let you guys know that I'm not lucky at all. I've tried so many different businesses. I failed more than 8 of them. And so uh, I have basically a long streak of being super unlucky. Um, yeah, so if I'm not special, then why did I succeed? And the answer is because I found the blueprint that works. So, I found the method, the exact blueprint. It's similar to having a treasure map. Basically, if you have that map, if you have the blueprint of how to build, some furniture, if you have like a manual of how to build a Lego set, then you can make it work. You just need to find that blueprint. All right. So back in that time when I was spending like 12 hours per day, I did realize that it was completely inefficient. It was like trying to fill a bucket of water with a spoon. Like that's the analogy that I use. It was so inefficient. And looking back, I realized that I could instead just spend like 30 minutes or an hour per day and just do even more than I did back then, get even better results. So this is basically what I'm gonna teach you guys is, not to do all the mistakes that I made, but show you guys basically what I learned and what I'm doing now. That's most efficient. All right, so what I do is actually pretty simple. So, as basically selling digital products on X across many, many different accounts. So you have to use these four things in order to succeed. So one is you have to use AI. Now if you're not using AI, then you're getting behind. You're being left behind. Two, you need to learn how to crack the algorithm. Basically, there are unwritten rules on X of how to get views, and not only how to get views, but how to get the right views. I was working with a Twitter page that was getting 5 million views per day, but we weren't making any sales because the quality of the people were so low. Versus, I have accounts that are getting only 1,000 views per day, and because the quality is so high, basically all the followers are experienced entrepreneurs. So, we're making so much. We're making more than $20,000 per month from that page alone. So, basically cracking the algorithm so that you get lots of views and target the right people. That's very important, and you need to learn how to do that. All the stuff I'll be explaining to you as we go along in the webinar. Number three is you need help from retweets from other big accounts. So, for example, if you're making a brand new post, if you get retweets boost from me and all my big accounts, that's going to increase the likelihood of you going viral by manyfold, right? And then there are a lot of templates that you can use. So you've probably noticed by now that there are a lot of posts on X that are very similar formats, same templates, same styles. And the reason why people keep making those posts is because it works every single time. So once you know these templates and all this, then basically it's very simple. It's very easy. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it makes a lot of sense. It's very simple. All right, and I'll be giving you guys lots of templates, all the templates that I have later on, and also sharing with you how to crack the algorithm and how it works. All right, and also how to use AI. So, you know how I was spending a lot of time when I was starting out business like 2 or 3 years ago, but now once you do all of this right, you can boil it down to spending just 7 to 10 hours per week working on this business to become successful. All right. So, I've basically figured out the algorithm, gotten millions of views, generated millions in sales, and I figured out how it works. So I'll be teaching you guys this. All right, so now that we're done with the story and the basic overview, I want to go over a simple exercise. So to help you guys, I want you guys to imagine your life in 1 year from now, exactly 1 year from now. So 2027 in February. What's today's date? 19. All right, if you could literally achieve anything. So I want you to basically have the answers very clear in your mind or write it down. So what number will you see on your monthly sales dashboard, right? How much will you be making online with online business? So think of an answer, right? How much do you want to be making? Is it 30K per month? Do you want to make 50K per month? So just write that down. All right, two is where you're living, right? Are you living where you are right now? Or are you going to be living somewhere better? Are you going to be living in a house next to the ocean in what country? Or are you going to be living with some friends who are entrepreneurs who are at the same level as you? All right, three, I want you to imagine who are you surrounded by? Are you surrounded by other high-level entrepreneurs? Are you well connected with a lot of them? Do you have people around you that respect you? And how are they treating you? And the four is, what does your schedule look like? This is all, by the way, if hypothetically you could achieve anything, then what would your answers be here? Would your schedule be completely empty? Would you be working from 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then for the rest of the day, you can do whatever you want. Maybe you're free location wise, right? Maybe you have enough time to really spend time with your family, take care of your family. So what does your schedule look like? So I want you to have these goals very clear in your mind or written on paper, and we'll come back to this later. All right. All right. So now that we have gotten all that out of the way, I want to go over the basic details. So some of you guys joining this masterclass, you guys are going to be completely new. So I'm going to go over everything from A to Z. So just to remind you guys, digital product is anything that's non-physical. So basically like stuff that you can't touch, right? Maybe like an ebook, course, coachings, communities, softwares, anything that can be delivered from your computer or your phone, like anything that's digital, basically. And you can sell it unlimited number of times, right? It barely costs anything to create it or to sell it. You can just copy infinitely. this market is huge. People underestimate the market of digital products, but it's $2.5 trillion market. This is basically a stat from WAP, and it keeps growing. It's growing much faster than many other different industries. And the e-learning market, which is a subset, within digital products, it's a 430 billion market. So just for clarity, e-learning is a subset within this 2.5 trillion market. So all e-learning products are digital products, but not all digital products are e-learning. So that is basically the difference there. And if you look at this chart from market.us, the market cap keeps increasing. I don't know if that's the right word, but the market keeps increasing. So every 4 years or so, it basically doubles, right? Right now it's 2026, $430 billion. In 2030, it's going to be 869. So you can see basically that it's doubling every 4 years. So, if, for example, you're making, $10,000 per month right now, then it would make sense to, be making $20,000 per month, given that nothing changes, right? So if you look at things for the long-term perspective, then it makes a lot of sense to go in this. It's a very good investment compared to other industries that are stagnant, getting more saturated and decreasing. All right. So this is a very good place to be. All right. So who is selling digital products and e-learning? Basically info products. I want to show you guys that basically everyone is selling. So, if you take a look at like presidents, world leaders like Obama, he made $65 million basically writing a book, right? That technically is like e-learning. It's like it's an info product. Universities are making it a crap load of money, right? Every university is making lots of money. I wouldn't say every, but many of them are. My university, this is my university, by the way, it's USC here in LA. I was living here, and basically these buildings, this block called the Village, cost $700 million to build. So it's almost $1 billion. You can see how nice it is and how much money they have. Like they're making $5 billion per year. I mean, it's mainly like due to us students basically paying a crap load of money. I think it's like $80,000 per year per student now. So, they're making a lot of money. They're selling courses, right? They're selling courses, they're selling digital products online. This is basically the final boss of, digital products of selling courses, by the way. Big companies, media companies, newsletter companies, are selling digital products. So they're making 10 billion per year, 12 billion per year. And then, the real question is who isn't selling digital products? You have all these celebrities, influencers, people with followers on Instagram, YouTube, wherever. They're all selling digital products. Like who isn't selling one, right? Maybe they have a course, maybe they have like a newsletter, maybe like they're just making money through their social media itself. Like that's a digital product too, right? So everyone is making money selling digital products. And the only person who isn't is probably you that's watching, right? All these big people that are successful are selling digital products. So it doesn't make any sense for you to not to. All right. So now we're going to go into the next part of the masterclass, which is POV, you become my student. So like imagine you're my son, right? You're my son. And if you're my son, I want to do whatever it takes to make you become successful ASAP, right? I'm going to tell you what to do, how to grow business, like starting from the age of like 3 or something, right? So this is what I would do, the path, the step-by-step process that you would go on if you're my student or my son or whoever I want to teach. So this is how we're going to do. First, I have a Discord channel, basically where I have a community. I have a lot of resources. I have 52 course modules. So, this is in the format of videos, documents, guides, basically a place where you can learn everything. So everything that I've learned within this business, like all the knowledge I have in my head, I put it into these 52 course modules. I keep updating it every week so that it keeps increasing. And I'll give you guys access. So, these are some of the modules. I have so many in there. So if you're starting out this business, basically step one for you would be to acquire an old X account. And the reason why is because you want to warm up your account. If it's fresh, new, then X is going to think that's suspicious. So, again, we want to use X as the main marketing platform. All right, and then you want to get a blue check mark, set up your profile. The blue check mark getting verified costs $8 per month. It's basically zero. And then the reason why you want to do X compared to, why not do it on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or, do paid ads. So this is all organic. And there are a few reasons why X is the number one place to do marketing on. So one is that, it's only text, right? It's only text. You don't have to create videos. It takes hours just to film, edit videos for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok for just one video, right? And that takes hours to do. And what if it doesn't, get views? Versus X, you can create hundreds of posts within just a few minutes, especially using AI. And even if only a small fraction of those posts goes viral, you're getting lots of views, basically. It's hyper efficient. So that's why it's like 30 times or maybe even more faster and easier. It's just hyper efficient. Number two is that the quality of leads are a lot higher on Twitter, right? Instagram and TikTok, those are videos. Like people just watch brain rot videos, right? That's 99% of the people. Versus X, people are reading. People are reading like educational stuff. People on X are intelligent. They're wiser. They're more successful. They're wealthier. They're just like high quality people compared to like TikTok and Instagram. So, on X, because people are wealthy, a lot of the followers tend to be entrepreneurs already, or, they work a really nice 9 to 5 job. So basically high quality leads. They're very ambitious. They're very likely to take action. They're very likely to buy from you, and very likely to pay a lot too, per client. So even if you're only getting like a few thousand views, chances are you're going to be making so much more with just a few thousand views on X compared to getting millions of views in front of, brain rot people on TikTok or these video platforms, basically. And also another thing is that you can just auto DM people. So whenever someone likes or comments on your post on X, you can automate your DMs. You can send everyone like a checkout link if you wanted to. You could send them like a freebie or send whatever you want. So for example, like if you get 400 or 500 comments on a post, on one post, then you can auto DM. You can set up a DM feature that automatically and instantly DMs them, like everyone, like a checkout link to a course or something like that. Maybe like 1 or 2% of people buy, right? It's basically automated. So auto DMs are huge. All right, you can use AI to basically generate these posts within a few seconds or minutes, and you can use AI to create the products as well and to set up the funnels. Versus, with videos on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's a lot harder to do. And, the goal eventually is to automate your business, right? You don't want to be working all the time. If you're smart, you want to build systems, you want to build an engine, just like how, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, they're not working on everything in the business. They barely do anything. Well, like all they do is just like give instructions and just like they have like a vision, and they tell there are the people under them like what the vision is and what to do, maybe like a few decisions per day, like high level, high leverage decisions, right? So that's where you want to be. You want to be the owner of this. You want to basically not do all these tedious work, but to be a visionary. You want to be the guy who is, taking control of all this, owning it without doing much of the work. And so this is all organic, meaning that you don't have to pay anything to, get views. Um, so, that's why the investment into this business is so little. You can just get started with zero, honestly. You can just open X, start making posts. But my recommendation is for you to get TweetHunter and get premium. So that costs $38 per month. But besides that, there is like no investment to get started. All right, so that is why it's so nice. All right, so step three is you want to pick a topic or niche. You want to pick something because obviously if you're posting about everything all the time, then um, it's going to be confusing. You need to be consistent. So you need to pick one thing. All right. Okay. So pick a niche like AI, e-com, YouTube. As long as it is business related, it's fine. You can even pick like health, relationships, or any other niche, as long as you're providing lots of value. All right, Q&A. All right, so how do I close this? All right, so number four, I want you guys to understand the purpose of all this. It's nice to get lots of views and make lots of money, but um, you know, the primary goal is really to make posts that will genuinely help other people, like learn, grow. You want to help other people. That way that you're giving out value to the world and you're benefiting others. So you should be focusing on that as number one. All right. Step five, you want to find a partner who is successful. So, for example, let's say an entrepreneur named Ben, he's selling AI to big companies, right? And he's making millions of dollars per year. You want to partner with him. And, you're probably thinking, how can I possibly partner with anyone? I don't know anyone like that. And if that's the case, don't worry. I have so many, friends. I have a huge network of people, easily over 300 very successful entrepreneur friends that you can partner with. All right. So, if you just message me, then I'll connect you guys. All right. Okay. So, why do you need a partner? The reason why I would recommend for you to find a partner is because, like, chances are you're not successful, you don't have experience, right? And if that's the case, that's very difficult. Like, if you're trying to post about AI, for example, like, look at the guy on the left. Like, if that's you, you don't have real experience, you don't have real background, then no one's going to listen to you. You're not going to be confident. But the partner, the guy who's actually successful with AI, he's going to be confident. He's going to have all these stories, these stats, um, and he's going to get a huge audience and lots of views, right? But the problem is that he's already busy with his company, his business, so he has no time to make posts. So that's where you're going to come in. You're going to make posts for him, right? So you're going to join him. You're going to join your partner and basically post together. So he gives you the knowledge and the experience, but he doesn't have any time to post, right? But you have all the time to do that so that you will make the posts, you'll set up the funnels and all that stuff. So, basically you guys are contributing in these different ways. All right. So you want to divide up the work. Again, Ben is experienced. He's successful with this business, but he doesn't have the time to make posts or to, build these funnels, but you do. So you're going to create these posts on his behalf to generate views. It's getting kind of dark, so let me. All right. So he gives you the knowledge and the authority. He shares all of that with you, so that you can learn from him. And so once you have that, then you can start making posts. All right. So let's say Ben, he is the AI millionaire guy. He has no time, but he gives you like basically rundown of how his business works, right? He's making money selling AI to businesses. So he gives you like a 30-page ebook, basically showing you exactly how his business works. So you go through all of it. You basically absorb everything you need to know about his business, right? So you receive it and you read it. Yeah, this is the example of the ebook on the right. And then you start making posts. So again, your partner, Ben, he's very busy. He has no time to make posts. He has no time to do any of this work because he's already doing his own business. But you have his knowledge and his experience now. So you're going to start making posts on his behalf. So you'll start making lots of posts. And you want to use Claude or some AI to generate these tweets. You want to create these, but chances are it's going to take a lot of time, and also it's going to be difficult to figure out what kind of posts get lots of views. So, and also you want to find viral posts on X, posts that are already going viral basically that you want to copy. So you feed both of those into Claude, for example. Claude, for those of you that don't know, Claude is similar to ChatGPT or Gemini. So basically, like Ben's ebook from earlier, you feed it to Claude, and also let's say you scrape 50, very popular viral tweets that you found, and then you basically feed both of them into Claude. So you give context, and then you're like, okay, so based off these tweets, try to figure out why they went viral. So learn from the style, the format, the template of these viral tweets, and the AI will basically reverse engineer and figure out why they went viral. All right. And then it'll use that same style and format to basically create new tweets, new posts based off of the info that Ben gave you, the knowledge that he has experience, right? So that way you create posts yourself. So here's an example of a tweet that generated by Claude. And then, you obviously can create hundreds of these posts per day. All right. And also you want to use this script to Claude. Basically, like you want to include as many numbers or stats because, the more you do, the more interesting it becomes, the more specific, the more real. And you want to include case studies, examples, stories. All of this stuff is basically just to help it create posts that are more interesting and more likely to go viral. So if you post this, then it'll work great. All right, so Claude templates. Once you use all this, you should start going viral. Obviously, don't expect to get lots of views, go viral within your first post. But the nice thing is that you can create hundreds or thousands of posts very easily. And the more you post, the more you learn. The more you learn from your mistakes, and the more chance of you have succeeding later on. Like, because again, I made probably like hundreds of posts, more than like 900 posts before I had my first viral post on Twitter. So it's a similar thing for you. Like, I don't want you guys to create that many posts. Like, I expect you guys to do a lot less because I had no idea what I was doing back then. But now that I'm giving you the blueprint and how to do it, it should be a lot easier. So basically start getting lots of views, making lots of posts. All right. So the thing about Twitter is that you don't need a lot of views. You don't need a lot compared to like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You're getting millions of views. Like Twitter, you don't need a lot of views. Even just like 50,000 views here, 49,000 views in a single post. It's not a lot, but for Twitter, it's pretty good. 448 comments. This post got 448, right? Each and every single person who commented on this post got a free ebook. They got a free guide. Basically, like as soon as you comment on this post, you instantly get a DM basically saying, "Oh, here's my guide. You can read it for free." So people are getting stuff for free. So that's why a lot of people comment on it because basically it costs nothing except maybe like 2 seconds of your time and just like type one word to receive the free ebook that you can learn from. All right. And as you're getting more comments, as you get hundreds of comments, the more Twitter will push it out to more people. So, this is called engagement farming. Basically, the more comments it has, it basically tricks the algorithm into thinking that the post is popular. So it pushes out to 49,000 people to view. All right. And let's generally like 50% of them, 50% of the people actually do open the DM and check out the guide. All right. So by that logic, if 400 people commented, then in that case, 200 people would have opened and read it. And let's say 3% of them buy the course for $300 each. 3% is, normal. $300 course is what we're selling here. And, we get 6 sales from this one post for a total of $1,800. So, that's the thing about these kinds of posts is that you can really look over these posts. Like it seems like you're not making it seems like they're not making much money because it's only 49,000 views. But in reality, if you dig like deeper, you'll figure out that, these posts are making a shitload of money. All right. And again, back to the partnership from earlier. You want to split the money 50-50 with your partner. So if that earlier post got $1,800, then you want to split it in half. So you get $900, for example. And that's from one post, which is pretty good. All right, $900 screenshot. All right. So again, why do you want to split? Because you made the post, you did the work, you create the funnel, right? And the partner gave you the knowledge and the authority. Without the partner, you would not been able to make posts that were full of value with his knowledge and experience and authority. Like you'd only be able to make very vague, non-helpful, general like posts about AI, for example, right? And the partner is also delivering the product or service to the customer, so he's taking care of that. You don't need to pay attention to the fulfillment because he's doing that for you. But you're making the post, you're getting the views for him, you're driving the traffic for him. So basically that's why you're splitting 50-50. All right. And once you start your partnership, you can be very flexible, right? You can be the one creating the ebook. You can be flexible and negotiate, who does what, and then negotiate the split as well. All right. So this is a 1 week stat. So you can see November 3 to 9, that's basically 7 days. Within this 1 week, with this partnership, basically a student made $8,800. Obviously there are fees, right? These payment processors collect a stupid amount of fees. So after fees is $8,200. But they're selling basically, I forgot whether it was like a course or ebook. Basically the same thing, $700 and one $2,500 sale, right? Okay, so this is basically what one of the students achieved within 1 week. And so once you do the split, once you divide the $8,200 in half, you get, $4,100. And so that's pretty good. That's pretty good for, 1 week of work. Obviously the partner gets the other half. All right. So the next step, you guys need to use TweetHunter. TweetHunter, I'm gonna basically for you guys that are new, why do you need it? So the first thing is that it allows you to do the auto DM. Remember how I was talking about the auto DM earlier? All right. You can auto DM, which means that, for example, if anyone likes or comments or engages on your post, it'll automatically send out a DM, and you can customize the DM. You can write whatever you want in the DM to everyone. So let's say you get 450 comments on one post that you made, right? And then TweetHunter will automatically send those DMs to everyone, hence auto DM, right? Maybe you want to sell like an ebook for $50. So you send out like a checkout page to buy the ebook. Or maybe you want to sell like a more expensive, $1,000 course. But that people aren't going to buy immediately. So you want to warm people up, make them watch more videos, give them freebies. To do that, you can give them free training. You can send that to them, or you can send a free, you can send a checkout link to buy an ebook or something. You can send whatever you want. All right. So it's not manual. You don't have to reply to people. TweetHunter will just take care of the DMs for you. It'll, DM everyone instantly. All right. So here's what it looks like. left is what you'll see on TweetHunter. So whenever someone replies, it will send this. In this case, I'm sending people's like a training. So like just free resources. Free courses, free videos, free trainings. And the reason why I do that is because, the more I give out people, well, I want to basically have them understand, right? And if they also learn, they'll increase, they'll trust you more, right? And that allows you to have a higher chance of selling something that's high ticket. So you can see this is in my DMs, this is my account, this is my DMs. It's sending this message to literally everyone who engages with my post. So anyone who replies to the post gets the auto DM. So I hope that's clear. And it's sending thousands of these DMs every single day. So even if only like 0.5% or 0.2% of people end up buying, it's still a lot, especially if each sale is like $2,000 or $5,000, right? Okay, so the second reason why you want to use TweetHunter is so that you can schedule posts in advance. So chances are you don't want to, make posts every single day. You don't want to work on that. You want to be efficient and create lots of posts today. And then for the rest of the month, you don't want to worry about it ever again, right? It's all taken care of. So let's say right now you generate 900 tweets, you create 900 tweets, right? So for the next 30 days, you're going to make 30 tweets per day. This is hypothetical. I probably wouldn't make that many posts, but as long as they're high quality, you can make whatever post you want. Again, like the number of tweets that you make doesn't matter too much, but it's more about the quality. So, for example, if you have 900 tweets, you can split that up to 30 days, 30 tweets per day, and then they'll automatically be posted. So this is just an example, right? So you're doing all the work today, and then for the rest of the month, you don't need to worry about it. And the thing is that, you don't need every single post to get lots of views, even if only like 5% of your posts go viral. Like that's already huge, right? 5% of 900. What is that? That's like 45 posts. Let's say that they're making like 50,000 views each. That's quite a lot just for the amount of work that you're putting in right now. All right. So the entire system to this business is all automated. So, back from the example of making of doing 900 posts. Wait, give me a sec. Yeah, so a bunch of you guys asked questions. So one thing is, obviously you don't want to post fake stuff. You want to post things that are only real. You don't want to lie. You want to, that's why you're partnering with the partner. Because let's say the partner made $3 million per year, then you can finally say that I made $3 million and this is how I did it. Or not I, but how we did, right? Because you're working together with him. So you want to create social proof that's real. And then if it's real, people start believing you. You don't want to create these fake stuff. That's why you want to partner with these people so that you can actually say these things. If you partner with someone who made $3 million per year with AI, you can say, we made $3 million per year with AI. This is how we did it, and give details that are real, that actually happened, so that people benefit a lot from that. So that's why. And again, if you want to find these partners, just DM me, just ask me, just text me, and I will give you one. These people want extra money as well. And they're all very happy to work with you guys. So yeah, that's okay. So, this entire thing is completely automated. So you're making lots of posts. You spend time doing that, and then you're taking care of, everything for the rest of the month is automated, right? You don't need to do marketing anymore. You're finished with all your work. And then you're just automatically getting views, you're getting engagement, comments, followers, while you sleep, right? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be on your phone. You don't have to be working at all. You can be at your job or whatever. And then even if only a small percentage of your posts go viral, you're still getting lots of views and followers. You don't need every single post to get lots of views. And then again, TweetHunter will automate the entire DM so that when someone, likes or comments on your post, then they will automatically receive a DM basically to like a freebie or like a course or something, and they'll just buy, they'll buy. Um, or maybe, it's a link to book a call, and then you close, right? And then, in that case, you want to hire a closer. So basically what a closer does is they convince the lead to buy something, but in return they take 10% of the sale. So let's say, for example, I'm trying to sell like an AI course, right? And I'm trying to sell that for $3,000. I don't have to get on the call with a lead. The closer gets on the call with the lead, convinces them to buy, right? Of course, they won't convince everyone to buy, but a good amount of people they'll convince to buy, and they'll take 10% of it. So they'll take $300 of the $3,000, and then I keep the rest of the 2,700. You keep the rest, right? So I hope that makes sense. All right. So all this is automated once you build the entire system. So here is an example case study, example post. So this post got 37,000 views. It's very simple. Look at how stupidly simple this post is. It takes like 10 seconds to write this post, and then you just attach a few images, and obviously working with a partner here. So 159 comments this post got. And I want you guys to guess how much money we made from this one post, from this one single post. Is it 500, 3,000, 10,000, or $20,000 or more? All right. So I want you guys to guess. All right. So in the meantime, I'll reveal this later, by the way. I want to show you guys basically how this entire process works. So you see the post. So, you have the account, and then as soon as people comment on this post, if you're one of the 159 people that comments, you'll basically get invited to the free Discord, where there are lots of free ebooks to learn from. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn. And then, you basically learn how it all works, right? It's free. And then at the very end of the Discord, basically there's a form where people can apply for coaching. So basically for those who are interested in buying coaching, right? So I hope that's simple. People, the viewers will see these posts and they'll comment on it, and they will receive a DM automatically, right? And the DM will contain a link to this Discord. And Discord will contain a lot of free material where people learn and they become very interested. Like, let's say I join this Discord and I read all this stuff. I'm like, wow, this is great. I want to learn more. I want coaching. So, if they want it, then they apply for this form. They fill an application. So from this one account, not this one post, but this entire account, from all the posts in total from this account, we got 1,800 submissions for this application. People who wanted the coaching. 1,800 people applied. And then out of those 1,800 people, again, this is this lifetime from this account. So over the course of many posts that were made, 1,800 calls, 577 calls were actually made. So all these people apply, but we only did 577 calls. And then our conversion rate was pretty low. It was like around 25%. So we actually got 132 sales. 132 people bought it out of 1,800 people who applied. In the average sale was $4,300. So the average person paid $4,300 for the coaching, and 132 people paid for that. We made $570,000 cash collected. All right. So basically, what did we sell? What does this account sell? You guys are probably wondering that. What do we sell? Oh yeah, by the way, as a disclaimer, basically the partner was someone who was actually successful with making money with AI models. So the guy was actually successful, and I partner up with him, right? And then I'm basically making the posts, and then he's the expert. He is the guy who actually is successful with this business. So I partner with him, and together basically do make these sales, right? And of course, he is fulfilling um, the the sales basically. He's fulfilling, delivering all the stuff. So how does it work? What do we sell on this account? And what do the clients get? Basically, a few things. So one, they're chucked into like a paid Discord. So remember where I showed you the free Discord from earlier? They get chucked into another Discord for 3 months, a paid version where there are more materials. The students can collaborate. They can mingle, they can do calls, they can help each other, they can do masterminds and stuff like that. Basically, like like a big friend circle, you know and then we give them courses like modules, so videos, documents. Basically, Parker is teaching people how to do this business, right? How to grow it. So basically it's purely educational, so that people can learn and then implement those strategies into building it. And then they get one-on-one coaching from Parker. um, the students, that became successful, that actually started making money with this business, actually became co-coaches as well to help Parker. And of course, there is a 7-day guarantee. So if anyone is not happy, if anyone regrets, buying this for 4,300, I mean, that's average, by the way. So it was originally $5,000, but some people wanted discount, so that's why the average came down to 4,300. But if anyone was dissatisfied or they regret making the purchase, or they're not happy, we just give them a full refund if it was within 7 days, right? And basically we made sure to give out as much value as possible to people, to help people really benefit all these people, right? The people who bought. So we keep constantly updating with new material, with new modules, with new learnings. Just like how, in Hustlers University and Andrew Tate's course, people like they keep adding new things every week. That's why it's so valuable and people keep paying $50 per month. That's why people keep paying, every month. That's why it remains valuable. So that's what you want to do. So I hope that makes sense. Basically, exactly what we sold and what the clients got and how the funnel works, right? So to go back to the question, this one single post right here that took maybe a few seconds to write, maybe like 30 seconds to write the text, 20 seconds to attach the images. This post made us $27,000, right? We got 6 sales of almost $5,000 each from this one post, $27,000, right? So that's the thing about Twitter, is that people look at the number of views and that's like, oh wow, that's nothing, right? But then they don't realize that the quality of the viewers, the audience, is so high on Twitter that people have lots of money, and even just like one person buying is a lot of money. So these posts are making a lot. So that's why over the course of this entire account, we made $570,000. Right now, we've discontinued. I've discontinued because I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian. This is not good for me. This is a business topic that I don't want to continue with. So that's why we ended, right? Okay, $570,000 within approximate 3-month period. So basically splitting with the partner, 50% from me, 50% for him. Each person gets like $285,000, almost 300K. So that's like almost 100K per month for each of us from just one account, right? And I have many other accounts. Okay, all right, and of course, this works with any other niche. It doesn't have to be AI models. It doesn't have to be AI. It doesn't have to be YouTube. It could be ecom. It could be sales. It could be trading. It could be any niche, and it works exactly the same. As long as you make the posts in the same format, the same style. As long as you make posts that are getting viral views, and you're basically helping people, uh, giving out free educational content, and you go through this exact same funnel and you're selling, any digital product, it works. Like it doesn't have to be, this topic. You could be selling ebooks. You could be selling a service. You could be selling a service that basically helps them set up the business. Of course, not guarantee results, but set up websites, set up a bunch of stuff. You could sell coaching, you could sell a course, you could sell ebooks, you could sell whatever you want, right? It's not limited to just like one thing. And you can post about any topic. It works completely fine. All right, let's see if any of you guys have any questions right now. Oh, no, not here. Yep. Okay. So um so this is one of my students, Peter. He's 18. I don't know if he's 18 still. He might be 19 now. But basically, I made a video with him because he was one of my students. And I was so excited because he started making more than $1,000 profit per day. You know, I'm not really sure what his background is, but he basically joined. This picture on the bottom left is his first sale that he made. He made his $300 sale, and then after that, he starts making so many more sales. But you can go watch a YouTube video on my channel if you'd like. Basically, where I helped him get up to $1,000 plus profit days. You know, the quality of the video is kind of bad because I was just it was my old MacBook, and I was so excited about creating this thing. Basically, it's unedited, it's all authentic. It's completely authentic basically. So you can go watch it. It's basically like an entire story from A to Z of how we built everything. So his complete story. And obviously running this business, building this business, like you're gonna have a lot of troubles, like problems that come up that are unexpected, how we address those, how we overcame. So every single detail of our progress that I made, he shares in that video. So you can go watch. I have more of these kinds of videos, by the way. So now, like, fast forward to a month, that was 7 months ago, but now like he's making a lot more. um I asked him recently, this was like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, how are you doing, bro? And he's like, bro, we just did $250,000 last month. So the growth that they make, it's actually crazy. And obviously there are more videos on my page. I hope it allows you to learn, allows you to learn that you get a lot of benefit out of watching these videos. It helps you succeed. So the more information that you have, the more education, the more chance and the faster that it takes for you to succeed. So, the harsh reality for me is that many of my students, many of my mentees will surpass me in performance. And the thing is that all of us, like me and like all these people, they were just normal people. They were just playing video games in their mom's basement. They're just like, you know what I mean. Basically, they were just normal kids, like just a few years ago. And now they're becoming successful, and I'm proud to say that a lot of them will become some of the world's leading entrepreneurs soon. So let's revisit your dream life in 1 year from earlier that we did a few minutes ago. So I'm wondering if you can see yourself achieving those goals now. And I'm wondering if you can see yourself using this bridge to achieve those goals. Like, do you see how you will go from being where you're at right now to those goals in 1 year? And how? Like, what is the bridge that will take you to there? Right. And I'm wondering if you see this business being that bridge to take you to achieving those goals in 1 year, right? So I just want you to think about that. So let me show you a student who actually did this exercise, like, what kind of goals you want in 1 year, right? So this is a real example of a student who did this exercise that I forced him to do this exercise. I'm like, okay, think of yourself in 1 year. What do you want? So his name is Zane. He's one of my students. He joined May 2025. So it's like, I think around 8 months ago or something like that. Okay, so I'm like, what car are you going to buy in 1 year? He just joined. And I'm like, what car are you going to buy? All right, once you become successful. And he's like, okay, I want to buy a G-Wagon. And he's like, okay, I'll be happy even if I had a Toyota. And so I asked him, to commit to that goal, to be 100% certain that he'll achieve it, right? He's in high school. He's working at a part-time cafe. He's working part-time at a cafe. You can imagine he's barely earning anything. He has almost no experience. He's tried watching, dropshipping YouTube videos, but basically had no success. So this is a student that I took on last year. And then basically a few months later, I think this was what basically less than a year, he does achieve it. He buys a G-Wagon, right? He gets these results. And he writes this long testimonial. I mean, I kind of asked him to write the testimonial just because um he told me that he would once he becomes successful. So here's the pictures of the G-Wagon he bought. It was $57,000 paid in cash. It's an older used one, so that's why it's cheaper than normal. But still, it's a huge accomplishment. So I was very proud of that. That's a real life example of this 1 year exercise, being fulfilled. So he does 100. He's doing now crazy amounts per month. And here are some of his dashboards, and you can talk to him if you like on Telegram. This is a link you can talk to him. And basically, the reality is that you can achieve your dream life in 1 year, right? Just like how that student did. But there are three requirements. Three. So one is that you need to know your goals very clearly. And you actually already did this step earlier. You basically thought of your goals. Number two is that you need to believe that you'll achieve all of these goals with 100% certainty. With every fiber in your body, with every cell in your body, you need to believe that it's inevitable, that failure is impossible. You need to believe this, right? So once you do that, you're done with step two. You just need these three steps to basically accomplish this 100%. Number three is that you need to put in the work, the steps to make it work. So, to make posts, to use the AI, to create the products, to talk to clients, do this work daily. You don't have to, put in a lot of work today, but as long as you're making steps, right? It's similar to, climbing Mount Everest. Maybe you're at bottom right now. You don't need to take a lot of steps right now, but as long as you keep making steps, and eventually you'll be surprised at how much progress you make. You'll be quite high in the mountain, and eventually you'll reach the top. So it's very similar to business. You just continue to put in the work, put in the right steps, right? Follow the blueprint, and then you'll succeed. So this is Michael's story. So I think he reached out to me April of last year. So that was 10 months ago. You can see here that he's messaging me a lot. I get thousands of messages every week, so it's difficult for me to reply, but I finally respond. It's like, hey, what's up? And then I basically decide to help him succeed with this business, because I can see his hunger in his words. I guess I can't see him, so like I can feel the energy, the hunger that he has to succeed. So that's why I take him on. And then obviously he's making a lot of these posts and he's not getting views, but eventually he does get views, and he gets views on X. He also gets views on TikTok. So the same concept applies to any platform. You're basically making valuable content that's educational, that grabs people's attention, that captures someone emotionally, right? Basically the whole concept is the same, even though if it's in different formats, videos or text, TikTok or X. Basically, once you understand how to get views, you can use it to wherever you want. So, he's getting lots of views on X and also TikTok. So this is TikTok, 129,000 views on one post. So he's making, a lot of these posts. I'm actually reading this because I forgot what we mentioned in the posts in the Telegram chats. Okay, so basically, like, I asked him, when was this? How do you make the post? How many comments? How many leads you got? So, this was a screenshot, right? He's selling an ebook or course for $300 to $800 each. So, each sale is a lot. And he has these videos. He has more of these videos, many, many more, and also many more, Twitter posts. And then he's getting lots of sales, right? So he mentions how he got approximately 50 sales in a very short period of time selling these things. And that's pretty successful. That's great, right? And now he's a coach. So that's one thing that I do with my students is that when they become successful, I basically invite them to become co-coaches for me. So obviously, I'm teaching my students, but if my students become successful, I take the successful students and have them teach the students, right? If that makes sense. Similar to, let's say you have a math teacher in class, and then you have a lot of students, but then like one student is a genius, so that he joins the teacher and starts teaching the class. So it's basically the same concept. So basically, he's Michael, for example, he's helping me teach all these students. So in each of these group chats, you can see these are each group chats, AMM, like these are each group chats for each student. So Michael and I are basically, there are two coaches for every student. So we're really helping these people out. We're hopping on calls to help the students, all that stuff. So basically, like I'm inviting you guys to join my pyramid scheme, right? Obviously, it's a joke, but basically, once you become successful, you can join me to become a coach, and we can help even more students become successful. Hence, the pyramid scheme. But obviously, this is a joke. It's an infinite positive loop, right? So that's why I'm inviting you guys. Basically, if you're interested in starting online business, right? And you just don't know how, you just don't know like the blueprint of how to do that. And you want someone to help you. Obviously, it's not going to be easy at all. It's going to be like Olympic training because like becoming successful business is always difficult. There's no such thing as an easy business that's to succeed with, right? So basically, like we're going to help you. These successful students of mine and me, we're all going to help you. It's not going to be easy once again. Like it's going to be similar to like an Olympic training, Olympic coach. You can't expect to go just show up every day thinking it's going to be easy. We're going to demand a lot of you. We're going to expect you to work hard, right? We're going to push you. We're going to keep you accountable. But that's all for the reason because we want to make you as successful as possible, right? And so if you want to join, there are some requirements. There are some things that we ask you of. Obviously, if Olympic coach is going to take on new people to teach or to guide, like they're not going to take everyone, right? They're going to filter down to a small number of people. So our requirements is that you're going to need to like basically be hugely committed, have a huge work ethic, long-term vision, not just treat this as a side hustle or side gig, but to treat this as a long-term business, to be very committed to this. Spend 10 hours per week. Be consistent. Don't just like put in a few hours of work in a week and just like not show up anymore, right? You want to be consistent. And we're expecting you to, work hard and to, basically achieve success. We're expecting you to, within 3 months, basically start making money, and if you're not, if we don't see the potential in you, then we're not going to accept you inside. We're very selective. And the nice part is that basically, if you're accepted, we want you to achieve 10K in 3 months, or you don't pay. I think that's fair, right? And we're very confident about that. So the reason why I'm doing this, like, what's the benefit for me, right? Why am I doing this? Am I selling a course? Am I making money off of this? And yes, I am. Yes, I am. But the main thing is that I basically get an equity in each person, in each student, right? So I take 20% stake. So this, for example, you make $10,000 in a month. I take 2K of that. And then, for example, if 30 students of mine are making $10,000 a month each, that's $300,000 total, right? And I'm making $60,000 per month passively because of that 20%, right? So you're sharing 20% of your profits with me. So I help you succeed, but in exchange, you basically, what is it? You share with me the profits. And this is not indefinite. This is just the first year. And the more you succeed, the more I benefit, obviously, because the more money you make, the more I make from that split, right? So that's why I want you to succeed. And so here is an example of a chart from December. These were some of my top 5 students. This is top student, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 students. And this is my equity in each student. So 20%, 20%, this is normal. This student basically we negotiated down to 5%. And this was my split out of, their earnings. And so, I basically mark if I received it or not, and basically how I received it, right? So you can see here that just from teaching these students, I made $50,000 per month for myself, right? In December. Okay. So here is the game plan. If you're interested in joining, I have this form, this onboarding form. You just put in a few details about yourself, your name, your email, your phone number, and a few other information. And then basically, I'm gonna hop on a call with you, like not a closer or a setter, but like actually meet, like one-on-one, basically to customize a game plan for you, like tailored to you, custom to you, right? Based off your background, your experience, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to create for you a game plan to achieve your goals, a lot faster than you could possibly do by yourself. So, let me share that with you guys, in the chat so that you have access to that. Oh, this is super inconvenient. I should have done this, somewhere else, but yeah, so I'll put in the chat here. You guys can access. I'll also put it in Telegram. Okay, never mind. Yep, so I hope you guys have access to that. Host and panelists, everyone. There we go. Okay. So apply here. All right. So yeah, back to the masterclass. So hopefully you guys can still see my screen. I don't think you can. Yeah, let me share my screen again. Okay, sure. Okay, so again, once you fill out that link, once you go to the link, fill out the form, and then you'll be able to hop on a call with me, and I'll put together a custom game plan for you, like a strategy that you can achieve success in this business. So like a timeline of what you'll be doing at each stage of this business so that you can achieve success. All right. So I also offer like a done for you basically, where instead of just a mentorship, this is like a premium on top of the mentorship. It's a superior premium version. Basically, I'll build for you a Twitter account that's generating lots of views and getting substantial sales, right? Within 3 months. That's why it's called done for you, because I'm doing it for you, right? You get to choose the niche or topic. It can be AI, it could be ecom, you can be YouTube, it can be whatever you want, right? And then I will basically grow that X account, and yeah, grow that X account, and yeah. So for example, let's say that I make a X account for you about YouTube, and we're selling ebooks, right? So basically, I'm making a lot of posts for you about YouTube, and we're selling ebooks. So I'll set up everything for you from A to Z. So all you have to do is basically just keep an eye out on any updates that I may have for you guys. And I'm so confident that if we're not successful in 90 days, just get a complete refund. So that's something else that I offer. All right. So, here's another student that was basically successful. He's high school, no business experience whatsoever. This is how we started basically. He just like reaches out to me like, yo, what's good? And then I'm like, okay, I'll help you out. All right. But the thing about him is that he was just so pessimistic, so negative. He's like, I want to work hard, but like, I don't know if promoting this will be, will get me to where I want to be. I'm like, bro, you need to like change your mindset and like believe that it's actually possible. If you're so negative, you're not going to achieve success, right? And then, basically I'm telling him to, stop being so scared and actually, put those emotions aside and to actually believe and have confidence in himself and, put in the work, keep telling him. And then, we start making posts, right? We start making posts. We choose AI as the topic to write about. And then he also creates this ebook. He creates this ebook, 259 pages. He creates it with AI, obviously. And this ebook is actually teaching people how to use AI to automate their business. So basically, it's really helpful for the business owners, and we're actually genuinely helping these business owners to like systematize and make their business more efficient, making their operations, making their systems more efficient. So basically, it's kind of like a course, like it's an ebook course. It's a course inside an ebook course in an ebook format, and we're charging basically $1,000 per copy, right? $1,000 per copy of this. And he also sets up the Loom. He also sets up his Telegram. So we start making these sales. We have this ebook selling for $1,000. We start making these sales. And I mean, he does. I'm not doing it. He does. So that's his first sale, $1,000. WAP notification. Obviously, we hide the name for privacy of the customer. This is his first day sales dashboard. $1,700, right? First day. As a 17-year-old, that's huge. And then he's sending me these screenshots. He's like, wow, that's a lot. So basically the funnel is like, X to Telegram, where people will basically DM him, and then he will, the leads, the customers will ask questions about, this ebook, and then people buy. So these business owners who are interested in integrating AI into the business are coming to him. His name is also Alex, just as a reminder. They're coming to Alex, and they're buying this ebook for $1,000 each. And he's 17, so he doesn't have he's not able to create a payment processor for himself. So I have to do that for him. I have to create a banking system for him, and then basically share access with him. So that's we're doing the profit split there, right? So more sales, more screenshots. He starts to continuously do 4 figures per day in profits. $1,000, $1,700 first day, right? And then yeah, just more sales. He becomes successful, and there are hundreds of other successful students that I have. So here's a promise that I make for you guys. Once you get to your first $10,000, that's why it's called $10,000 promise. $10,000. I invite you here to LA, to Los Angeles, and then I'll invite you to the tallest restaurant here to come celebrate. That's me with my students to come celebrate with me once you hit $10,000, and then we'll discuss how to scale beyond that. Yeah. Obviously, we're going to have a very good time, talking, celebrating, but then we're going to strategize how to go beyond that. And then we're going to basically you can choose a car. You can choose any exotic car like Ferrari, Rolls-Royce, Lamborghini. And then we'll go around with that. Right. So that's a $10,000 promise that I have for you guys. So yeah, if you're interested in either the done for you or the mentorship, then you can go ahead and fill out that form. Basically, once you fill that out, I'll be hop you on a one-to-one call with you. I'll be on the call with you, just one-to-one, and then I'll create a custom game plan for you so that you can succeed. And this is available until February 24th, midnight PST, and it's also 20% off now. So if you're interested, even if you're slightly interested, you can fill out the form, and I'll send you more details later once you do fill that out. And then if it's a good opportunity for you, then that's great. But if not, that's fine too. It's basically wherever I can help you out most. I want you to choose whatever you think is best for yourself, whatever opportunity is best for yourself after understanding completely, and then you can choose for yourself. And then if I can help, I'll be an honor to basically help you out here. So that's basically it for the masterclass. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any more questions, please do reach out to me on XDM or Telegram, or you can text me as well. And then once you fill out the form, you should be able to. We'll hop on a call basically to go over the next steps. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned a lot from this masterclass. That was the goal. The primary goal was really to help you guys to learn even just the basics. I hope it's been helpful. And if you have any other questions, just feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help in whatever way. I'm happy to answer any questions. So yeah, that's pretty